In the Soul King Palace, Yhwach kneels, and his body erupts with dark energy that surges downward, tearing through the Serete's barrier like a tidal wave. Meanwhile, in Urahara's lab, alarms blare as Shinigami realizes a massive Reiatsu is closing in fast. Moments later, the dark mass smashes into the city, shaking everything and oozing in like a nightmare. Renji spots the chaos and is struck with dread as he wonders what's happening, while Ikaku urgently points to the darkness overwhelming the city. Captain Sui Fang sprints into action, activating her Bankai with determination to stop the impending doom. But before she can unleash her power, the dark tide consumes her and engulfs nearby buildings in a swift motion. The black mass grotesquely transforms into horrifying eyeball creatures that crawl everywhere, spreading terror and leaving the Shinigami in a state of panic and retreat. Outside, Ikaku, Yumichika, and Hisagi are stunned by the swarm of creatures, only to get swept up themselves as the eyeballs latch onto them, biting and tearing. Fighting back, they unleash their Shikai, slashing through the horde, but it's like trying to stop an ocean. Just when it seems hopeless, Byakuya steps in with his Shikai, Senbonzakura, slicing through the swarm with a storm of blade petals. But even Byakuya's power isn't enough to stop the endless waves. The creatures keep coming, overwhelming everything. Rukia and the others watch in shock as the horde presses toward Urahara's lab. Then, out of nowhere, the tide freezes and solidifies. A crushing Reiatsu fills the air, obliterating the eyeball creatures into paste. Rukia braces herself and looks up, stunned, as the creatures begin retreating, around none other than Sosuke Aizen. Aizen sits casually, throwing shade at the Shinigami for using their Zanpakuto instead of their Reiatsu. He congratulates Rukia on her promotion, but when she asks why he's here, he reveals his sentence was lifted, thanks to Captain Commander Shunsui Kyoraku. The Shinigami are shocked, and Renji, Ikaku, and Yumichika all protest. But Shunsui brushes them off, saying using evil to fight evil isn't inherently wrong. Aizen tries to get out of his chair, but Shunsui won't let him, claiming Aizen can handle a fight even if he's stuck sitting. As a horde of eyeball creatures attacks, Aizen's Reiatsu wipes them out. He orders everyone to retreat and then unleashes a massive Hado 90, Kurohitsugi.
Kurohitsugi.
The Seirete is left in ruins, and Urahara realizes Aizen's power might be even greater now. In the lab, Byakuya calls Shunsui's decision a huge insult, but Shunsui says they can beat him up later, after saving the Seirete. Meanwhile, Aizen explains that the eyeball creatures are from Yhwach's power and hints that Yhwach might not be able to fully control the Soul King's power yet. When Rukia asks how to reach the Soul King Palace, Aizen casually says he'll just shoot it down with his Reiatsu. As Aizen stands ready to unleash his devastating attack on the palace, Shunsui decisively warns him that Soul Society's technology surpasses anything he could have imagined. Mayuri Kurotsuchi firmly confirms that Aizen's Reiatsu is firmly anchored and won't be escaping anytime soon. Mayuri shows off his tech skills, mocking Aizen for thinking raw power beats brains. He flaunts a special medallion, teasing Aizen for being stuck in restraints. Aizen, ever the flexor, dares Mayuri to max them out to see what's stronger, his power or the restraints. But before the showdown, bam! Stern Ritter Yu Nanana strikes, targeting the weak spots in Aizen's Reiatsu. Aizen's paralyzed, slumped in his chair like a defeated boss. Nanana brags about his skill but barely gets to gloat before Bazb pulls a fast one, blasting him through the chest. Turns out, Bazb, Liltato, and Giselle aren't here to mess around. They want revenge on Yhwach for ditching them and decide to team up with the Shinigami. With one condition: they want to ride to the Soul King Palace to settle the score. Meanwhile, Shunsui rallies the troops, summoning all Shinigami to assemble for Urahara's monumental plan. Injured fighters lean on each other, fueled by an unyielding determination to press onward. At the same time, Mayuri and Nemu ascend a colossal platform enveloped by enormous limbs poised to energize Urahara's groundbreaking gate-building project. Below Mayuri and Nemu, Ikaku and Yumichika freak out when their wild captain, Kenpachi, shows up asking for Yachiru. When Yumichika says there's no news, Kenpachi shrugs and walks off. But Nanao steps in, calmly telling him he's better off saving his strength for Urahara's plan. Kenpachi grudgingly agrees, leaving Nanao sweating in relief. Meanwhile, Shunsui gathers everyone to drop the bomb. Yhwach has stolen the Soul King's power, and the world's on the brink of destruction. But there's hope. They just need to defeat Yhwach. The crowd cheers, and Urahara announces they're building a gate to storm the Soul King Palace. Cue Shinji freaking out when Hiyori and her gang show up with a giant teapot. After some bickering and bowl-cut jokes with Suifeng threatening murder, Hiyori pours the teapot's weird liquid into a basin. Urahara explains it's supercharged energy from world distortions, perfect for breaching the palace. As the Visored gets ready, Aizen casually opens his eyes, snarking about how Shunsui should have killed him earlier. Shunsui fires back, reminding Aizen he's annoying even when paralyzed. Finally, Urahara finishes the gate but warns there's no guarantee they can return. Suifeng fiercely scolds him for underestimating their unwavering resolve, and Kenpachi cuts in impatient as ever, bellowing, "Just get us there already!" With a confident grin, Urahara agrees and the team suits up, brimming with determination, ready for the battle of a lifetime. Down below the platform, Aizen smirks, ranting about Shinigami and Quincy teaming up, not to save Soul Society but to take down Yhwach. Then he throws shade at Ichigo, calling him insufferable for beating him and reaching the Soul King Palace first. Ouch. Meanwhile, Ichigo wakes up on the Ganden, screaming Uryu's name, only to see Orihime looking super relieved, and then she collapses right into his arms. Surprise, surprise, turns out she's been healing everyone non-stop. Ganju chimes in confirming it. Classic, Orihime just can't help but overwork herself. After Yoriichi confirms Orihime fixed her arm and patched Ichigo up, Sato asks the big question, did Uryu really shoot him? Ichigo says yes, and Ganju wonders if Uryu's gone rogue. But before Ichigo can respond, he spots Kon nearby, totally beat up. Orihime reveals Kon saved Ichigo by inflating himself to break his fall. Ichigo starts mourning him, only for Kon to pop up, alive and dramatic as ever, yelling not to write him off yet. Kon then gloats about saving Ichigo while admitting he was hiding in his clothes. Ichigo gives him a squeeze, literally, before surprising everyone with a heartfelt thank you. Kon's flustered reaction gets a chuckle out of the group as Ichigo grins, bringing some lightheartedness to the chaos. Yoruichi, upbeat as always, interrupts, saying it's time for a counterattack. She warns the world's falling apart and stakes a claim on their next move. But Ichigo points out a problem. They don't even know how to get back to the Soul King Palace. Yoruichi shrugs it off, opens a garganta, and bam, Grimjow shows up, smug as ever, shocking Ichigo. Meanwhile, back with Yhwach, things take a creepy turn. His goo-like body sprouts eyes and tendrils, grabbing everything around the replaced Seirete. Hashwalth watches in awe, declaring it the birth of a new world. Things are about to get wild. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next episodes, and subscribe for more videos.